Hey, Ali, have you not transferred your monthly payment to me yet? If you don't transfer it to me soon, there's gonna be problems.
I'm sorry, Bella. I'm not feeling very well today. I wasn't able to go to the bank. Don't worry, I'll make sure I transfer it to you tomorrow.
I don't want to hear any excuses. You promised you'd pay me the same time every month, didn't you? You said you'd pay me, that's why I let you move out and live on your own, and in return I take care of your father's house and your little brother. You remember our agreement, right?
Of course, I remember. And I remember how you took in my father and helped looked after me and my little brother. And after my father died, you let me move out and agree to keep looking after my little brother, as well as my father's house for me. Tom and I are both very grateful for you.
Well, as long as you understand. The only thing you're good at is making money. So make sure you're never late with your payment, ever again. I don't care if you're feeling bad, next time crawl to the bank if you have to.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, I think this month you're gonna have to pay me an extra $1,000.
Huh? An extra $1,000?
That's what you get for making me wait an extra day. There's some new clothes that Fiona wants, and there's a new bag that I want.
But if I pay you an extra $1,000, my rent is.
What's this? Do you have a problem with my request? Are you gonna defy me and not pay it? Do you want something to happen to little Tom?
I'm sorry. I'll pay it. I'll pay you. So, please, don't do anything to Tom.
You and your brother both. You're not very good at understanding circumstances, are you? You've got no parents, so without me, who's gonna look after you and your brother? To tell you the truth, the day your father died, so did my obligation to look after you too. But because I'm such a nice person, I let you stay in a house. You need to start showing your appreciation and pay me back for everything I've done for you.
Yes. I understand and thank you for everything you do.
What a poor excuse for children you two are. My little Fiona is such a good little girl compared to you and your brother. She just got accepted to that elite private school. The one with a combined junior high and high school. It doesn't surprise me. Really. She is my daughter, after all. She's nothing like whatever you two were spawned from.
Wait, hold on a second. That elite private school you're talking about. It's also known to be extremely expensive. How are you going to pay the tuition? It's junior high and high school combined. That means she'll be going for 6 years. 1 year's tuition alone is extremely high.
I found a bank book in Tom's room. When I looked at it, there was a huge amount of money in the account. A child doesn't need that much money. I'm paying for Fiona's tuition with that money.
Hold on. That's the bank book for the bank account my dad made for Tom. That's the college fund my dad set up for him. You can't use that. It's Tom's tuition when he's old enough. And don't go rummaging around Tom's room. He's only 11 years old.
Who do you think you're talking to? I can go anywhere I want in my house anytime I want. On top of that, anything in my house is mine. You have no right to complain about it.
I can't believe this. If you're gonna use Tom's college fund on Fiona, Tom's education is.
Let's face it. I really don't think that boy would be going to college anyway. If you've got a problem with it, you'd better start making more money than you are right now. If your job isn't paying enough, then get another job at night, or start working the streets at night. Do you want me to introduce you to someone in the escort business? I know someone who specializes in that type of work. I can get you in. It might be a little rough sometimes, but it can make you lots of money.
No, thanks. I'll get you the money for Fiona's tuition somehow. Just put Tom's money back in his account.
Fine, either way, just remember, if you're late on even one payment, I'm gonna use the money from Tom's savings account. You better work hard to get enough money for Fiona's private school tuition.
Okay.
For now, make sure you pay me that extra $1,000 for being late with a regular payment. And you're going to be paying for Fiona's textbooks and her uniforms, too. Got it?
I understand. I'll make the transfers. Goodbye.
Hey, Allie. The house is completely empty. Did you have something to do with this? And there was some strange notice posted on the door. What are you up to?
Welcome back, Bella. I heard you and Fiona went on a little vacation. Is that right? You were gone for about a week, right? I heard you took Fiona to Disneyland. It sounds like fun.
I'm not talking about that now. Tell me about the house. The paper on the door said the house was sold. What's going on here? And what did you do with all our things? Do you have any idea what I'm going to do to you too?
Shut up. Do you have any idea who you're talking to?
What did you say to me? How dare you talk to your parents like that?
Just shut up and I'll tell you what's going on. As for the house, you don't live there anymore. Because I sold it.
You sold it? You sold it without my permission? How could you even think of doing that without my permission?
I don't need your permission for anything. My dad left that house to me in his will.
Ha! He left it to you?
The only thing Dad left to you was his savings. I got that house in his inheritance. And I was the one paying the property tax on it. So, if I want to sell it or tear it down, it's entirely my decision. Unlike you, I'm very kind. So, I took the liberty of finding a place for you that has monthly rent and no contracts needed. I had all your things shipped over to your new place. I paid the first month of your rent. After that, you can pay yourself or find your own place to stay.
I can't believe you did such a stupid thing. We've lived here for so many years. I was married to her father. I have a right to live here.
It doesn't matter how many years you lived there, or who you were married to years ago. That house was left to me. I don't know how you could have forgotten that. Dad didn't mention anything about you living in the house and his will. And you never officially adopted us when he died. So, what I'm saying is, when I turned 18, that house became mine. I let you continue living there out of the kindness of my heart. Or, more like, you took Tom as a hostage and took over the house. You basically took it over, didn't you?
How dare you say whatever you want to me? Who do you think has been looking after your little brother this whole time? You ungrateful little.
You think you were looking after Tom for me? Don't you mean you were using Tom? Tom told me everything. He said you were using him as your own personal slave. You made him do all the laundry, the cleaning, and the cooking. He said if he ever didn't do something you told him to do, you'd hit him.
You have to discipline a child if they don't listen. And he's not my son, so if he wanted to live with us, he had to pull his own weight. If I didn't make him do all those chores, it wouldn't be fair to Fiona.
He's still in junior high school, and you made him work day and night. And on top of that, you stole his inheritance and used it all for yourself, didn't you? You said if I paid for Fiona's private school, you wouldn't touch Tom's money? But you used it so you could buy expensive things and have fun going out at night. And you told Tom because there was no college fund for him, he'd have to get a job out of high school. That's the only reason you stayed with us, to take all of our dad's inheritance for yourself, wasn't it?
Shut up! Shut up! I married a divorced man who had 2 kids. You should be thankful that anyone did. So, it's only natural that I'd use you both as much as I could. Tom's not that bright. He doesn't need a college fund because he's not going to college anyway. Using any money on his education would be a total waste. Him getting a job as early as possible will be the best thing for him.
That's not your decision to make. Tom is going to live with me now. He's going to finish high school and then he's going to college. I used the time you were on vacation and finalized everything that needed to be done. I've even put all the money back in Tom's college fund.
You've put the money back in his savings? How slash? That must mean.
That's right. When I was getting all our stuff packed up to move, I sold all those designer shoes and bags you had. I couldn't believe how many you had. That's probably what you spent his college fund on, wasn't it?
How dare you? You went too far. I'll never forgive you for this. I'm gonna make you pay. I'm heading over to your place right now. Don't even think of trying to run away. I know where you live and I know where you work. You better get ready.
You better get ready. She says. You're not too smart, are you? Do you remember what happened 4 years ago?
What are you talking about?
That one time I was day late with my payment to you, and you charged me an additional $1,000? At that time, I'd already moved away and changed jobs. It was because I was busy doing all that I forgot about the transfer. I was scared you might figure out what I was up to. I thought if you came looking for me then, you might have realized I wasn't at the address you thought I was at. And that I wasn't working for the company you thought I was working at either. But I've made sure everything is hidden well now and will stay secret. You'll never find out where we are. So don't ask me for another cent ever again.
This can't be.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was tough. Trying to secretly find a buyer for the house, getting Tom's in my life all sorted out, and making sure it stays hidden from you. It took me 4 years to do it all. I feel bad that I had to leave Tom alone with you for that long. It must have been really hard on him. But now neither of us have to worry about you ever again. Now you and Fiona don't have a house to live in, and I don't have to pay you a dime ever again. If you two live in poverty for the rest of your lives, that's fine with me.
Wait, Ali. Hold on. I'm sorry. I had no idea you resented me so much. If you forgive me, I'll do anything. I was wrong. Your mother was wrong. I'm sorry. Please. Think about your little sister for a moment. Please, just reconsider.
My mother? My little sister? Who are you talking about? Both of my parents are up in heaven now. And I've never had a little sister. I think it'd be strange for someone not to resent someone who used them only for money. Or used them as their own personal slave. Now that you aren't holding a small boy hostage, you're just an unemployed, heartless old hag. Feel free to drop dead.
How could you?
Oh, before I go, I've got something nice to tell you. Do you know about Fiona's second SNS account? Guess what kind of picture she's posting of herself on there?
Huh?
She has lots of pictures of herself at college frat parties. She looks drunk out of her mind hanging off all those college guys. Too bad Fiona's still in high school. Oh, and I might have anonymously sent the pictures to everyone at her high school.
What?
She's at that elite private school, right? The one with a high reputation and is really strict on policies? She obviously can't be that ashamed of what she did. She posted all those pics herself. I wonder if she'll get kicked out of the school for doing this. You know, the school you had no money for, yet you were sending her to anyway. I guess we'll wait and see. She was so close to graduation, too. Even if this conduct doesn't get her kicked out, once tuition payments stop, I'm sure she won't be there much longer anyway. Oh, I feel so sorry for her.
Why would you do such a thing? Are you happy now? Taking your anger out on Fiona? You definitely went way too far. Please. I'm begging you. Just stop.
I shouldn't have to say this, but I don't want anything to do with you two ever again. I'm blocking your number. This is the last time I'll ever contact you. Make sure it's the last time you ever contact me. Goodbye. Bella headed to the makeshift location I had prepared for her. During her time there, I heard she began searching for an alternative residence. Due to her lack of employment, she couldn't secure a contract with any other place. Following the initial month at the location I arranged for her, Bella failed to make any further rent payments. Consequently, she was evicted from her temporary accommodation too. She resorted to living in her car and selling her belongings to cover expenses for food and basic needs. Right before that, Fiona was expelled from her exclusive private school. I'm uncertain whether it was due to her behavior or her failure to pay tuition fees. In any case, Fiona and Gabrielle had a major argument regarding their school expulsion. As a result, Fiona ended up fleeing from home due to the situation. There's a circulating rumor that Fiona approached one of Bella's acquaintances about potentially working as an escort. Regarding Bella, I was informed by one of my former classmates that she never managed to secure employment. Eventually, she exhausted her resources to sell, and there have been reports of her being homeless, found sleeping in parks.
I have to tell you, darling, that this new perspective I'm experimenting with is truly life-changing. To be successful in business, you must be willing to advocate for yourself. Consider today. I was the only one who got home on time. I'm not doing overtime.
Have all of your coworkers stayed late to work overtime?
Yes. Unfortunately for them, they will never be successful business leaders like me.
But don't you get a raise if you work extra hours? You could make more money if you worked overtime like the others. That's great, isn't it?
Are you remembering the TV show we watched the other day? That story about the trading company employee who worked his way to the top. He even stated that working overtime is not a good strategy to advance in the firm.
When you think about it, working endless hours for a small sum of money is absurd.
It's not a good use of your time or energy. That documentary really motivated me. After hearing about that guy's accomplishment, I felt compelled to distinguish myself by refusing to work overtime.
Is this truly groundbreaking? You never worked overtime before this change of heart, did you?
Basically, my feelings have shifted from previously. I guess before I didn't give it much thought and just went about my business, obeying every instruction that my boss gave me. But now I see that overtime is unnecessary for a winner, a high performance, and a great company leader like myself. Vivian, what are your thoughts? Isn't it amazing?
Well, anything.
You ought to be overjoyed. To think you could marry a successful businessman like me. Isn't city life great?
You're also acting as though you're not from a little town. Your town is even smaller than mine.
I wish you would refrain from mentioning my hometown. I've advanced. That dull town is nothing more to me than a stepping stone to where I am now. The city is full of opportunities. Don't you understand?
How can you speak so negatively about your hometown? Remember, it's where your parents reared you.
Shut up! You're going to get me worked up all over again. I was born in a dung heap, but I was reborn in the city.
Your origins and background shape who you are now. Are you not aware of it? You can't just dismiss your hometown as unimportant. What would your parents think if they found out you were dumping on their town in that manner?
Oh my, you've done it again. I'm off on another of your standing up for the countryside rants. You should get to know the city a little better. We'll be here for quite some time.
I don't mind living here. You're completely missing the idea.
Remember that first time we met in that bar? Despite being raised in such a small area, I was taken by how attractive you were. Then, as soon as we married, you reverted to your country girl self, putting your feet up on the couch and always dressing in not-so-cute clothes. To be honest, I was astounded.
After we were married, I left my work. It's only normal for someone to unwind when they've finished working. After all, you're the one who suggested I quit my job to take care of the house.
Yes, the primary responsibility of any decent lady in the city is to care for the home. Our house would be in shambles if you didn't stay at home.
Are you serious now?
People who do that are all struggling to make ends meet. If they could have their way, I'm sure they'd want the male to be the primary breadwinner. That's why we created it. I've got you covered, baby.
What? That is something I'm not sure about. I believe that the majority of women enjoy working and pursuing a career. Kiva, for example. She's doing quite well.
Kiva? Isn't she a schoolteacher? Not really a top earner in my opinion.
She is really fond of children. Besides, it's a steady employment with possibilities for advancement.
Yes, well, I'm not going to stay late at work anymore. My boss will then notice my bravery and have no choice but to elevate me.
All right. You can do whatever you want.
How are things going, Vivian? I hope my brother isn't causing too much problems for you.
Hello, Sophie. He's a touch delusional, but what else is new?
What is he on about now?
He has stated that he does not wish to work overtime any longer. Is it something to do with his desire to be his own boss? Or something along those lines?
Sounds like something he'd say. Oh, and thanks so much for assisting me in finding a new apartment last week. I'm very pleased with the choice we made. It's not only convenient to my new office, but the neighborhood appears to be very safe. Not to mention that the rent is really inexpensive for the region.
I'm so thrilled you found a nice spot. Life in the city may require some adjustment, but I believe you will be all right. Just don't stay out too late every weekend.
I won't. Perhaps a little at first. But honestly, Vivian, I'm glad for your assistance in locating this location in the city. I stayed with my parents in Fairview while finishing off college. They were truly opposed to my study of law.
That is odd. What was their objection?
They advised me to simply wait and marry into a wealthy family. They always said there were plenty of good males nearby. It was truly infuriating. Why would I want to marry an old, wealthy man? It's far more thrilling for me to pursue my own job and make my own money. So, finally being in the city feels fantastic.
I'm delighted you were finally able to make it. You're going to do fantastically well.
I'd also like to thank you for advising me on what to say to persuade them to let me go. They expected me to stay for a month or two, run out of money, and then return to Fairview. But, with your assistance, I refused to take no for an answer, and they reluctantly let me go.
I'm delighted I could assist, but it was your persuasion that caused them to agree. Felix wasn't thrilled that I got involved in your guy's family affairs, but whatever.
I'm very sorry, but it was all worth it. I'm here now, owing to you in large part. My parents may believe I'll be broke in a month, but I'm not going to let that happen. I'm staying in the city, and I'm not going back to that small town.
Congratulations, Sophie.
How is Felix doing? You mentioned that he's a little deluded, but not too terrible, right?
Talking to him can be difficult at times. He has really melancholy ways. You are most likely aware of this.
Yes, he has a reputation for being obstinate. I deeply regret this. Do you want me to make an attempt to talk to him?
Don't be alarmed. I wed him. I know what I agreed to. I'm hoping he'll change his mind.
Could I ask you a private question?
Sure, go ahead.
Why did you get married to him?
That's an excellent question. I guess I did believe it was fate. I believe we met at the right time. However, I believe I've always wished to assist him. He looked to have so much potential, you know? But now I'm not so sure.
Please let me know if he says anything out of the ordinary. You have helped me so much that the least I can do is try to aid my own brother.
Thank you so much, Sophie. That means a lot to me. I suppose I simply wish he was more self-aware. I'm still hopeful.
Our family had a total of 6 children. Felix was the 5th kid in our family, and I was the youngest. Our 4 oldest brothers are still farming in Fairview. Our parents assumed Felix would work in agriculture as well, with me marrying one of the area's affluent landowners.
I believe he told me that once.
He always wanted to live in the city, and even when he worked in agriculture, he was always looking for a means to move out of our small village. That when he was 32, he finally obtained a low-paying city office job and used it to get away.
That's probably why he has no idea how things work here. He was always seeking for an easy way out of town. If only he'd accepted your advice and built a solid foundation before moving.
He's always had one thing on his mind. So, if he begins to act strangely, you notify me, okay?
What exactly do you mean by unusual?
I recently overheard him conversing on the phone with our other brother. I overheard him mention something about how well he was doing that the ladies couldn't get their hands off of him. Or something like that.
What a ridiculous thing to say. I'm sure a slew of ladies are eager to date a lazy like him.
Vivian, I'm not sure how much of it is genuine, but he appears to be seeing a woman at work. During their lunch breaks, they spend a lot of time together.
Are you certain?
Yes. That's what I overheard. I sincerely apologize. That's why I phoned. I couldn't seem to get the words out.
Really?
I haven't seen anything personally, so I can't be certain if it's true. Besides, he always says things like that to make himself seem important. Who knows, it could all be a hoax.
In any case, thank you for informing me. That reminds me of something. Felix just finished watching a documentary on a successful company employee. It drew his attention. Cheating, according to the guy in the movie, is a method to demonstrate status in the business. His face was blurred in the documentary, so I suppose he thought he could speak freely about such matters.
Felix may do so if he discovers someone idolized in this manner.
Make an attempt to be him. Take on his persona, for example?
Exactly.
So, whether it's real or not, I need to act.
So do I. Whatever you require, I am here to help.
Thanks.
Recently, I've been thinking. I don't think you're thankful enough. People who are unappreciative, in my opinion, never advance in life. You should keep that in mind.
What?
At my workplace, there's this chick. She always appreciates me when I assist her.
What does that have to do with anything?
Every day, I do so much for you, but I never hear you thank me. Isn't that strange? How come you're so oblivious to how this relationship works? I make enough money to support both of us, and as a result, you can live this carefree life. You must begin to express your gratitude in words. I'm going to keep track of how many times you thank me for all I've done every day. That'll help you recall.
That's a lot of words for someone who makes less than $2,000 a month.
What do you mean? $2,000 is a large sum. Who was that person in the documentary? He received the same pay.
Are they the same? He was earning $2,000 each day, not monthly.
$2,000 per day?
I know you're not from the city, but I had no idea you were that dumb. Sophie, your sister, understands how things work in the real world better than you do. I believe she has a far greater chance than you.
Sophie? What is your significance? This is about you failing to recognize my efforts.
You are aware that she relocated here, correct?
She did, but I'm sure she'll be crawling back to where she started in a week.
Do you know how much her starting salary is at her new job? It's nearly twice as much as yours.
You're deceiving me.
You remember how she worked so hard at university all those years? She did really pass the bar test. Now that she has a foot in the door at a law firm, who knows how far she will go?
Do you mean she's a lawyer?
She despised the inequality she encountered as a child in that little community and pledged as a lawyer to protect women from violence and harassment. She not only made a strategy, but she also got a job as a junior lawyer at a law firm. Your sister has a lot to teach you.
Really? Sophie never told me she had it in her.
She claimed that her brothers didn't treat her with much respect around the house, which contributed to her determination to achieve in school. Instead of being resentful or angry, she values the lessons she learned throughout those years. Isn't he mature?
You're not as familiar with Sophie as I am. She's not all that bright. In that law firm, she won't last a month. I'm not sure how you could have been convinced by someone as foolish as her. Maybe it's because you're also stupid. If I had taken the bar exam, I would have passed on my first attempt. I just elected not to go that route.
You need to stop calling people names. Maybe you should contact me after you've accomplished something noteworthy?
It was only a joke, you know. But, Vivian, you really shouldn't be chatting to Sophie. She's going to disrupt our lives. That's not something we'd want, is it?
This life we created? We hardly have enough money to cover our rent each month. Your wage will not suffice in this city. That is why I want to get a divorce.
What? On what basis? Since we got married, I've done nothing but provide for you. I'm not going to accept a woman like you attempting to force a divorce on me. I'm not going to say anything.
I did some investigation. The other employees' base monthly wage at your company is smaller than yours, but by putting in a lot of overtime hours, they increase it to well over $3,000. With that mindset, a guy like you will never make it. You don't put in any effort and expect us to pass you by? Get a handle on yourself.
Are they really making that much money? I suppose a little overtime wouldn't hurt. Just for now.
I'm not done. You share an office with a 20-year-old. A mother on her alone.
Okay, so?
Apparently, you meet her in secret during your breaks? That is the word on the street, so to speak.
Are you insane? Where did you get the information?
That isn't everything. You're apparently also giving her gifts in the back room. Bags, for example, or even money. Given your already modest pay, this is rather foolish.
I'm not sure what you're on about. Anyone who told you that is lying.
Sophie overheard you discussing it with your brother over the phone. But, just to be sure, I hired a private investigator.
Sophie will have to keep a close eye on herself. What is she thinking spreading rumors about me? I was only talking to my brother. That's all. Brothers occasionally like to brag to each other. It was all a performance. You didn't employ an investigator, did you? I'm sure you're also putting on a show. I work with a woman who looks like that, but she's completely unattractive. In addition, she works on a separate floor, so I rarely see her. If you have any evidence, please provide it to me.
I did speak with her. Fiona was her name, I believe. She even provided me with hard evidence.
No way!
I informed her of the problem. She didn't seem to realize you were married. She apologized and stated that she would never have done it if she had known. Anyway, I have screenshots of your messaging threads. Some of the things you spoke to each other. I must say, not very appropriate.
She just handed over chats like that?
She was sympathetic to the situation and eager to assist me.
I knew I couldn't put my trust in that tramp. What made her give so easily? In the documentary, that guy's girlfriend kept her lips locked, as a good woman should.
I understand why you wanted to come to the city, but you didn't put forth any effort. What did you actually expect to achieve by acting like this?
Who do you think you are? You're from a tiny village like mine, but you act like you've made it big in the metropolis. You haven't worked a single day since moving here.
Well, I'd say I'm actually doing fairly well. I've been doing freelance web design work from home for a time now.
Huh?
The pay is adequate. Well, if you believe $10,000 per month to be adequate.
10 grand?
Isn't that great? I'm just a country bumpkin, so I'm not sure.
You've been making $10,000 per month all along? Why wouldn't you tell me?
It's extremely unfortunate. I'm sure we might have had a bright future together, but I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Are you serious about getting divorced, Vivian? This is easily remedied. I'll start working extra hours. I acknowledge that I was conceited.
I have proof of you cheating, thus trust is essentially gone. Besides, I've had enough of your obstinacy. Not to mention your outdated perspectives on women's roles in society.
You're not going to do it, are you? To be honest, I am adaptable.
By the way, the flat we've been renting is $3,500 per month.
$3,500? For such a small area?
That is the local market value. Actually, reasonable. We moved into my apartment after being married, but I continued to pay the rent on my own. We couldn't afford the rent with just your salary.
$3,500. It's impossible for me to believe. Are all places this pricey?
There are less expensive options. You may have to venture a little outside of the city. Fairview may be a viable choice.
Let's simply settle down and talk about it, Vivian. I'll bring you your favorite red wine, the one with the yellow pig on the label. Then we can listen to some jazz and converse. I'm going straight home.
I'm afraid that's too late. I'll need you out of the house before the end of the week. Don't be alarmed. I've already scheduled a vehicle to pick up your belongings on Friday, so please have them ready by then. I'll be staying at Sophie's apartment for a few nights, but we'll keep in touch to get everything in shape for the divorce.
Please, Vivian.
Felix, it's funny. You arrived to the big metropolis with big plans only to fall flat on your face. However, one of your predictions came true.
What exactly was it?
Unappreciative people never advance in life. I suppose it's true. Felix moved out of the flat the following week and began looking for a new place to live. However, he discovered that the city was rather pricey, which surprised him. He began sleeping at a downtown youth hostel and stored his possessions in a storage locker. However, after arriving at work unshaven and exhausted, his manager decided it was time to fire him. Felix unwillingly returned to his hometown, his hopes of making it big in the metropolis dashed. His parents, thankfully, agreed to let him return home as long as he helped them with the farm chores. Felix struggled to fit in his hometown after his reputation as someone who lost everything attempting to make it in the big city. As a result, he was unable to remarry and spent his days in Fairview alone, living with his old parents. Lila, please stop being arrogant. Your upcoming status as my sister-in-law doesn't grant you the authority to condescend or mistreat me.
I apologize for any misunderstanding. I understand that you did not have any intention of behaving arrogantly towards me. Did I do something that displeased you or that you found unfavorable? It was unintentional if I did.
Yes. Whatever. It was pretty obvious what you were trying to do. You were exhibiting a sense of superiority based solely on your wealth.
I did not hold a condescending attitude towards you, and I do not perceive myself as a wealthy individual either.
Stop lying about everything. I know that you married my brother because he has a lot of money. You're such a gold digger. Are you planning to live life like a celebrity from now on? That's how it looks like from the outside. You are definitely being so arrogant.
All I'm doing is talking to your mother. I'm not doing anything wrong. Why are you being like this?
So now you're trying to make me look like the bad one? You can't even take responsibility for your own actions? I can't believe that he's getting married to someone like you. He always chooses the worst women. It's been like this ever since high school. I can't wait for him to realize the kind of woman you really are.
I'm really confused. What are you trying to tell me?
I'm telling you to stop acting so arrogantly towards me and my family. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I don't really want you coming to the wedding next week.
We're going to become sisters-in-law. Let's try to get along because we're going to be part of the same family. Also, the wedding would be kind of weird without me being there.
Fine, if you really want to come, you better get me a high-brand wedding gift. That's the only way I would allow you to come. You're desperate to attend, right? The gift better be worth at least $5,000 or I'm not going to accept it.
Sure, I was planning on getting you a gift that costs around that much anyway.
Whatever. Don't lie to me. There's no way a selfish person like you would have gotten me a gift that expensive.
Did you just call me selfish? Do you not remember how many times me and my husband have helped you out financially? I've learned and given you money every time you've asked me. How could you call me selfish after all that?
Are you serious? That money is the money that he earned from his job. You didn't make any of it. You're just a lazy housewife that stays at home all day. Why are you trying to take credit for something that you didn't even do?
That's not true at all. About that money.
Just be quiet. I don't want to have to talk about this anymore. Make sure you don't forget my wedding gift, okay? It better be worth $5,000 or I'm not letting you inside the wedding venue.
Fine, I'll get you something nice. You better change your attitude towards me once I give you the gift.
I'll decide it how I treat you after I see what you get me.
You really don't get along with Nora very well, do you? It's so obvious just watching you guys interact with each other. Could you try to at least get along? It's uncomfortable for the other people.
I try to get along with her. She doesn't seem to want to cooperate at all. I've been trying to act normal and I've listened to all the things that she's asked me to do. Anyway, it's kind of your fault that we're in this situation.
My fault? Why do you think that?
The reason why she doesn't like me is because she thinks that I married you for your money and job. When the hell do you plan on telling your family that you're unemployed?
I've been planning to tell them, but I just haven't had the right opportunity yet.
Stop planning and just tell them the next time you see them. I'm the one that earns all the money between us. I'm the one supporting you.
Yes, I know that. I'm thankful that you're so kind and I do feel kind of bad about it. It's just that when I'm with my relatives, I don't want to tell them the truth. It would be kind of embarrassing for me.
What is wrong with you? If you're embarrassed, then go and find a job. Also, that idiot told me that she would only let me come to her wedding if I buy her a gift worth $5,000.
Hey, stop calling my sister an idiot. $5,000? That's not even that bad, right? I'm glad that you didn't ask for something even more expensive.
Are you serious? It's a lot of money and I'm the one that's going to be paying it. I don't then care if we go to her wedding or not. In fact, I'd prefer not to go and not have to pay the money.
What are you talking about? We have to go. It would be kind of weird if you weren't there after all. I don't want to have to explain to the others about your absence either. Would you please just go and buy her something worth $5,000?
Why do I have to go and buy such an expensive gift for that idiot and you? I wish you'd hurry up and start working.
Why are you complaining about such a small amount of money? Isn't your business making record sales numbers? $5,000 for you is nothing.
Well, the online business that I started up is going very successfully, so $5,000 is not that much for me. Still, it's money that I earned and I don't want to use a single cent of it on something that would be a waste.
I'm begging you to just do as I say this one time. I promise that I'll try to find a job as soon as the wedding is over. You know that my parents are really strict people, right? They would kill me if they found out I was unemployed.
Okay, fine, but this is the last time I'm going to buy something or give her any of my money. Once the wedding is over, you can give her the money if she asks. Is that okay?
Yes, I guess so. Still, she would get mad and suspicious if we suddenly stopped supporting her financially.
Stop saying we. All of the money is mine. None of the money that she receives is from you. I'm the one that's lending her the money for her wedding as well. Yet everyone in your family thinks that it's you that's giving her all the money. It's not fair at all. You're taking all the credit for what I've been doing.
I do feel sorry about that, and I'm grateful that you're being so understanding. I am actually doing my best to try to find a job. It's just been pretty difficult, especially at my age. There's currently no decent companies that want to employ someone of my age.
Are you really sure that you're even looking for a job properly? All I see you do is play games all day and watch Netflix. I would have thought you would be going out for interviews, but I haven't seen you leave the house in such a long time. If you're going to be at home all day, I wish you'd at least help out with the housework.
That's because I'm not a quick learner like you. It would take me way too long to learn how to do the housework, and by that time I would have found a job, I think. I've never cleaned or cooked before, so you would probably get even more stressed getting angry at me.
Just get out of the house then, you useless waste of space. I don't want to have to keep supporting you in every single way possible. You're meant to be my husband. We should be sharing the workload together.
Calm down, would you? Once everything settles down, we can talk everything out. I don't want to cause any drama right now with Nora's wedding coming up.
You really are such a selfish person. Fine, I won't cause any unneeded drama right now because I respect and love your mom and dad. If your attitude and actions don't improve soon, then I'm going to be taking some action myself.
Are you trying to threaten me or something? You better not tell my family about my temporary situation. I promise that I'll find a job soon, so please don't go and tell them that I'm unemployed. I promise I'll change. Just give me a bit of time.
Fine.
Why are you acting so arrogantly again? Didn't I warn you about this the other day? Stop acting like such a good person when you're in front of my mom and dad. I know what kind of person you really are.
You're still going to take this kind of attitude towards me? Even after everything that I've done for you? I was the one who lent you money for your wedding fees, and I was the one that got you the expensive wedding gift.
Do we really have to have this conversation again? It wasn't you, it was my brother that paid for everything. Stop trying to take credit for what you didn't do. The wedding gift wasn't even that expensive. I thought you would be kind and get me something closer to $10,000. I guess I was wrong about that. You do know that you're the embarrassment of my family, right? I hope that you try to change that in the future.
Fine, that's it. I'm cutting off your financial support.
I don't care. You barely give me anything anyway. It's my brother that is the one that gives me all the financial support. Thanks for the wedding gift though. I'm not sure if I like it that much though, so I might go and sell it for the cash.
Are you sure he's the one giving you all the financial support? He's unemployed right now.
What did you just say?
He quit his company around 6 months ago. He hasn't worked for a single minute ever since he quit. He was looking for jobs until a few months ago, but now he doesn't even do that. I'm the one that's paying for all our living expenses. He's completely dependent on me.
What are you saying? You're lying to me, right? He was telling us stories about his workplace today.
That's a lie. He has a very good imagination. That's about the only skill he's good at. He makes up really believable stories on the spot. He shouldn't really try to become a comedian or an author.
Are you serious about this? Who else knows about this?
I'm the only one that knows. He keeps telling me to be quiet about it because he doesn't want people to know that he's unemployed.
That's a huge problem if Mom and Dad find out about this. They're going to be so furious because they're really strict. If they find out about this, then they're going to cut ties with him completely.
Well, that's great to hear. He deserves it.
What you just told me is the complete lie, right? There's no way that he's unemployed. I thought that he was so successful at work. You must be lying. There's no way that you could have got me such an expensive wedding gift without his help. You're trying to tell me that all the money that he's been giving me was actually your money? I find that very hard to believe.
Well, you better start believing because all of the financial support that you've been given was from me. I recently started up an online business with one of my friends from high school. It's been really successful and I've been making a lot of money. My bank account is looking very happy right now. We don't even rent out an office, so pretty much all the profits go straight into my savings.
I thought that you were just a housewife.
I work on my business every day while also doing the housework. I don't have the time to be using any of the money I earn on myself. That's why I was giving you financial support. I thought it would be a nice way to spend the money I never use. Once I cut ties with you guys, then I'm finally going to have the time to spend the money that I earn on myself. I'm looking forward to buying whatever I want.
Did you just say that you're planning to cut ties with us?
That's what I said. I'm planning to get a divorce from that lazy leech as soon as possible. I don't want to live with him or see his face. He's just a huge parasite.
Are you sure about this? What's going to happen to the financial support that I was getting from you? I really need that money.
You're not getting any more money from me. I don't want to waste the precious money that I earn on people like you. Tell me one good reason why I should give any money to an arrogant brat like you.
Did you just call me a brat? I'm already 27, you know.
That's what scares me the most. You're already that old and still acts like a kid. How about you try to grow up and act like an adult for once? Anyway, I've decided that I'm definitely going to get the divorce. Would you be able to tell your mom and dad that he's unemployed? I am sure that they would love to find out.
Wait. Please. Let's talk about this first.
I can't believe what you've done to me. How could you do such a thing? I thought we were married. You told my entire family that I'm unemployed. Even my mom and dad know about it.
You should be thankful that I kept it a secret for such a long time. I was planning on telling them at some point.
Do you know how much trouble I am in now thanks to what you did? They're really strict about this kind of thing.
Yes, I know. How much trouble you're in, and I think that you definitely deserve it. They're going to cut ties with you for sure. Where are you planning to go after I kick you out of my place? I know that you won't be able to go back to your parents' place now.
Wait! What? Did you just say you're kicking me out of your place?
That's what I said. I decided that we're going to get a divorce. Please gather up your belongings and move out as soon as possible.
Wait, please hold on. We need to talk about this. You're really serious about this divorce? This is all happening too quickly.
Yes. Of course I'm serious about getting the divorce. There's just no positives for me being married to you.
Positives? I thought that we were together because we love each other.
Do you really think that I still have any feelings for you at all? Take a good look at yourself and what you've done in the past 6 months. Stop acting like you're surprised to hear about the divorce. It was so obvious that it was going to happen at some point. You're a horrendous husband and you know it.
Sorry. I can change.
If you have nowhere to go, then you can ask Nora for help. She's your cute little sister, right? She seems to respect you and love you so much. You're the only person she ever talks about.
You know that I can't do that. She's not going to be able to make a living if you stop giving her the financial support that you've been giving her. She's also in a huge fight with her new husband right now.
What are they arguing about? Is it about her credit card debt?
That's exactly what they're arguing about. She buys so many things compulsively. I think she's addicted to shopping. She maxes out all her credit cards every single month. With other financial support, she can't pay for her living expenses.
Did her husband not know about that before they got married?
He didn't know at all. She did a good job of hiding it because of the financial support you were giving her. She made it look like she had no trouble paying for her expenses. As soon as you told her that you're no longer giving her any money, she decided to come clean to her husband. There was no way she could pay for anything and she needed his help desperately. She really didn't have any other choice but to tell him the truth.
What happened after she told him?
He was shocked and disgusted. I think most people would feel the same way. The amount of debt she has isn't small. It's not like $10,000, which I guess could be paid back fairly easily. It's way more. He also found out that the only reason she was able to live normally was because you were giving her financial support.
So what's going to happen to them?
They're probably getting a divorce. He doesn't want to have anything to do with her. So both of us siblings are in so much trouble now. Our lives have fallen apart completely. Are you happy now?
Yes, I'm really happy. You both deserve this. I want you out of the house by the end of the day. You better not leave any of your belongings behind. If you do, I'm going to dispose of it tomorrow.
Kicking me out of the house is pretty much the same thing as giving me a death sentence. I have no idea how to live by myself or make any money.
You can go find a part-time job or something. I think the local gas station was hiring people for the night shift. All you did was play games for the past 6 months. It's time you made up for it and did some hard work. Well, best of luck and goodbye.
Wait, don't leave me.
Hey, I'm really sorry for everything that I did. I was an idiot. I'm going to work and give back all the money that you gave me. So please, would you be able to forgive me and give us one more chance?
You shouldn't try to make promises that you can't keep. How do you plan on paying me back when you can't even pay off your credit cards? You're also in a lot of debt as well. Do you really expect me to believe that you can pay me back?
Please believe in me. I promise that I'm going to change and do better.
I know that you're going to ask me for more money if I forgive you. You guys don't have a place to live, so you need some money for the rent, right? I'm not going to forgive you or give you any money. Why don't you guys work together and find a place to live? You guys can both get part-time jobs and chip in.
I don't want to live with a loser like him. He was hiding the fact that he was unemployed and made you work the entire time. I don't want to ask for help from a useless guy like that.
Okay, fine. If you want me to forgive you, then give me $5,000.
What?
I said pay me $5,000. If you do, then I'll think about forgiving you. It's not that much money, right? I'm pretty sure that's what you told me the other day. I blocked her number following that final text and ceased all communication with her. I enlisted the assistance of Ken's mother and father because he was extremely reluctant to relocate. They arrived with a massive truck and loaded all of his possessions into it. They proceeded to forcefully usher him into the truck along with his belongings and drove away. As a result of her divorce from her husband, Nora found herself without a home and burdened by a significant amount of debt. Luckily, she was able to secure employment shortly thereafter and presently resides in a dilapidated apartment, living independently. However, I've been hearing unsettling rumors regarding the nature of her current occupation. She has been spotted socializing with some rather questionable individuals. On the contrary, Ken was dispatched to the countryside by his parents. They had secured him a position at a diminutive factory to work at. He diligently toils every day, earning the minimum wage. Hopefully, both of them have come to realize that acquiring money requires extensive dedication and exertion. Money doesn't simply appear out of thin air. I hope that this experience serves as a lesson for them, prompting personal growth and fostering their development as individuals.